Here I have my almond nuts and I did soak it overnight. You can also leave it for about 8 hours if you do have time during the day. Once it has been soaked, you want to make sure that you wash it really well, or you can remove the skin as well, but today I'm leaving on the skin. And I also have my water. Here I have my Ninja Bullet blender. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit distracted today, and my camera would not allow me, or the tripod would not allow me to go far up so you can see what I'm doing, but this is what it looks like from my point here. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to add in the nuts, so you may be able to see that, followed by my water. So I'm just adding in the water. Next, I'm just going to cover it with my cover. So this is a cover. I'm just going to cover it, and then we are going to blend it. So I'm just going to put this on, and then we're going to blend it for about 30 seconds. Key to getting the perfect almond milk is to make sure that you stay within the time limit, which is 30 seconds. Also, what you can do is add in some vanilla extract to give it that vanilla taste. I am not adding in any vanilla today. I'm just going to do it just straight. So I'm going to blend, and I will show you that as well. So the milk is done, and as I said, 30 seconds do the trick. You get all your milk extraction, so you don't need to go longer. So I'm just going to set my blender aside, and I am not going to open to show you. So this is what our milk, ooh, looks so good. So this is what our almond milk looks like. Do you see that? It's so nice and creamy. Yes, this is what it wants, and I'm quite sure I can attest that it's actually much better than the ones you buy in the supermarket. I said so. So next, what you want to do is to make sure that you have a very fine piece of cloth, which it could be a cheesecloth as well as a strainer. As I was saying, you want to ensure that you have a cheesecloth and your strainer on hand. But for today's video, I'm just going to show you how I use my strainer, and I'm using a very small one today. Usually I use a big one, but I'm using a small one today. And I also have some thin cloth, that is handkerchiefs, that I use to strain to get rid of the excess pulp that may have slipped through the strainer or the sifter. So I will do that and come back to show you what it looks like. So here's our almond milk, and this is what it looks like. Look how nice and creamy it looks. As I said, homemade is always the best. And I also have here the pulp from the almond milk. And what I did, I actually had some in the fridge that I was saving for this particular video. So I just added to the ones that I have. I just straightened out here. So we're going to be using this for our flour. Now with the milk, what you want to do is to make sure that you store it in a glass container, preferably. Make sure it has a tight lid, and the almond milk lasts up to, I would say, no more than 5 days. You don't want to stretch it too much because remember, it does not have any preservative, and so you want to make sure that you get the best use of your almond. Now of course, some people might say it's a lot of work but I would tell you that it's much healthier, especially for people like myself who can't use a lot of dairy products. Dairy products are not my best friend. So what I'm going to do next is basically pour the milk into my glass container, and I will show you that as I do it. Let's go. So fam, this is my bottle, and I have already started pouring the milk in. So this is my milk for the rest of the week into the weekend, and I also use it to do things like waffles and all of that good stuff. So as I said, you want to make sure that it has a tight lid so that way it doesn't spoil or anything, and make sure that you store it in your fridge. Okay, so now that that is done, I will move on to the flour. Let's go. Here I have my baking sheet, and as you can see here, I am simply just taking the pulp and spreading it across the baking sheet so that it's evenly distributed. I will place it into my oven at 200 degrees, and it should take about a couple of hours. I will give you the correct the correct timing and everything in the description box below. So once it's done, I simply removed it from the oven. Here you can see it's dried. All the moisture has been dried out from the pulp. So I'm just going to take up some so that you can see what it looks like, and you can see that it's dry. So I will allow it to cool completely before we move on to the next step. Here is our almond pulp, and it's all done. It's ready, it's cooled. So we are going to move on to making the flour. So here I have my blender cup, and I'm just going to use a spoon, and I'm just going to pour or put some of that pulp in here, just like this. Once I have placed my pulp into the blender cup, I simply screwed on the cutter, and I am placing it now onto the blender itself, and I am now going to allow it to blend for about 20 or so seconds, and once it's done I will come back to show you what it looks like. This is what my almond flour looks like, and I'm just bringing it up closer so that you can see. And this is a really perfect substitute for me when I'm that I'm trying to avoid using too much of the white flour. I tend to mix it in with my breads. I use it for waffles, I use it for pancakes, I use it for making my bakes and so forth. So yeah. So here is the final display of the almond flour, and I'm just bringing it in a little bit closer so you can see what it looks like, as well as I have here my almond milk, and then I just have some almonds just on display. So I really do hope that you did enjoy today's video. Don't forget to share the video and subscribe, y'all. Subscribe. It wouldn't cost you anything. So please comment below, let me know what you think about the video, and until the next time, see you in my next video. Bye bye.